Shark Tank's stars have turned scrappy ideas into more than $1 billion in retail sales. From smiley sponges to viral bathroom stools, they know exactly what makes money last. So, what advice do these sharks have for lottery winners? Advice number 1. Lump sum or annuity. The very first decision any lottery winner faces is choosing how to take the money. You get two options: the lump sum or the annuity. Both seem safe until you see the fine print. This choice alone can decide whether your money lasts or disappears. Let's use a very recent jackpot to make this real. In September 2025, 2 tickets in Missouri and Texas split a gigantic $1.787 billion Powerball jackpot. Winners had 2 clearly different paths: take a 30-year annuity or accept an immediate lump sum. The lump sum was estimated at $410.3 million before taxes. Now, imagine you are in those shoes. Which do you pick? The annuity means a smaller check right now, followed by 29 more payments increasing each year. It's safe, slow, and predictable. The lump sum gives you massive cash right away. You lose some to taxes, but you gain immediate control. You can invest and you can protect it. If you pick wisely, that power multiplies. But if you act without a plan, it burns hot and fast. So, what do the sharks say? Kevin O'Leary, among others, advises opting for the lump sum. But he says there is a catch. You cannot treat it like a shopping spree. That money is a raw asset. You have to treat it like something that builds. There is also another unspoken risk. What if the state or lottery organization itself runs into financial problems decades from now? O'Leary doesn't trust governments to keep promises for 30 years. And he does have a point. By locking yourself into an annuity, you bet on the system staying stable forever. That's a gamble. So the shark-approved play is to grab the lump sum. Advice number 2. Budget discipline. Once the money hits your account, something dangerous happens. Your brain starts whispering to you that you're rich now. You can afford anything. That voice is the real enemy. Kevin O'Leary has warned again and again that the fastest way lottery winners go broke is by losing track of a budget. And the numbers back him up. Studies show that around 70% of lottery winners burn through their fortune in less than 7 years. That's not just small winners. That includes people who grabbed jackpots in the hundreds of millions. They bought mansions they couldn't maintain and fleets of cars that sat unused. A budget does not seem like a fun idea, but it's the shark way to survive. Think of it like a business plan. Even billion-dollar companies set strict limits on expenses, and so should you. O'Leary's advice is to transition slowly into your new lifestyle. That means if you were living in a $200,000 home, don't run straight to a $20 million estate. If you were driving a Toyota, don't swap it for a garage full of Lamborghinis overnight. Make changes step by step and test what you can really handle without stress. A practical shark strategy here is to cap your yearly spending at a percentage of your liquid fortune. Many financial planners suggest 4% per year. So if you walk away with $300 million after taxes, keep your yearly lifestyle under $12 million. It sounds like more than enough because it is. But more importantly, it protects your wealth long term. And budgeting is not about deprivation here. You will still travel first class, buy a great home, and fund your passions. The point is to avoid death by 1,000 cuts. A yacht plus 5 vacation homes plus sports cars that depreciate overnight are things that will burn your money. The budget is the seatbelt. Ignore it and the crash is inevitable. Advice number 3. Pay off debt. Now let's talk about something that seems almost too obvious: debt. Kevin O'Leary advises wiping it out the moment you win. Credit cards, loans, and mortgages should be gone. It's because debt quietly eats you alive, and it doesn't stop just because you hit the jackpot. A typical credit card charges around 20% interest. That means for every $10,000 you owe, you pay $2,000 a year in interest. Even if you're sitting on $50 million, why let banks collect easy money from you? By paying it off instantly, you effectively earn a guaranteed 20% return. No stock in the world consistently gives you that kind of safety and reward. And it's not just about numbers. Debt is stress. Imagine being a brand new millionaire but still getting bills in the mail. That's ridiculous. Paying off debt removes all those chains. It leaves you free to focus on growing your money instead of patching holes. Some winners think they have so much, a little debt doesn't matter. But it's the wrong mindset. This is how you slip back into old habits. If you don't take money management seriously when you are flush with cash, you will never take it seriously when things get tough. Sharks know that debt makes you weak. Freedom from it makes you strong. And don't forget, debt doesn't just involve credit cards. It's car loans, student loans, mortgages, and even personal loans you might have taken from friends. Clearing them sets a baseline. After that, every dollar you earn or invest belongs fully to you. Advice number 4. Invest for income. When you have taken the lump sum, set a budget, and cleared your debt, then you need to make the shark move that separates the millionaires from the billionaires. You have to invest for income. Kevin O'Leary calls this his golden rule. Don't chew into your principal. Live off what your money produces. How do you make that happen? The sharks lean on a strategy that focuses on low volatility, dividend-paying stocks. These are companies that don't swing wildly on the market and that reward you just for holding their shares. For example, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble. These companies have been paying reliable dividends for decades. Every few months, they cut you a check just for owning a piece of them. That's passive income on autopilot. You should also pair that with a diversified mix of bonds, real estate, and even some real estate investment trusts that pay steady dividends. With the right mix, your money will become your paycheck machine. For example, a $100 million portfolio earning just 4% in dividends spits out $4 million a year. That's without touching your base. Spend the income, reinvest what's left, and your fortune grows instead of shrinks. Now, Kevin O'Leary gave the financial roadmap, but he is not the only shark with something to say. The others have their own strategies. If you put them together, you start to see a pattern. Every one of them is telling you that money alone is not enough. You need control. Advice from other sharks. Barbara Corcoran is proof of that. She built her fortune from nothing but a $1,000 loan and an idea. So when she talks to lottery winners, her advice is surprisingly down to earth. She tells them to start with something as boring as a savings account. And not just any account. You need a high-yield savings account. It's because it's safe, liquid, and actually earns more than the tiny pennies a normal account gives you. That means while you figure out your next steps, your money is already growing quietly in the background. Barbara also pushes for passive income. She believes in putting part of your winnings into things that keep paying you even when you're asleep. That could be rental properties or dividend-paying stocks. You need this kind of smart thinking for the next challenge. Because once your name is linked to a jackpot, your biggest problem is not interest rates, it's attention. And Kevin Harrington, who is one of the original sharks, warns winners about this all the time. He says that if the law in your state allows you to stay anonymous, do it. If it doesn't, find ways to keep your profile low. That might mean claiming the money through a trust or an LLC. You have to go to such lengths because as soon as the news is out, you are a target. People you haven't spoken to in years show up. Charities flood your mailbox. Scammers get creative. And in some cases, even criminals come after you. Harrington says anonymity buys you breathing room. It gives you time to plan before the world comes knocking. And even if you can't stay anonymous by law, you can still build barriers. That's where his second piece of advice comes in. Build a team you can trust. Harrington insists on 3 players: a lawyer, a tax professional, and a financial advisor. Each one covers a different battlefield. The lawyer protects your assets and sets up structures that shield you from lawsuits. The tax pro makes sure the government doesn't take more than it should and that you stay compliant. And the financial advisor builds the long-term plan so the money grows over time. But even with a team, there is one more test that can break you. Mark Cuban advises winners to learn to say no. And it's not easy, because once people know you are rich, they will line up with their hands out. It feels cruel to refuse, but Cuban argues it's the only way to survive. If you say yes to everyone, the money will vanish quicker than you realize. This advice has plenty of proof behind it. Look back at lottery history. Jack Whittaker won more than $300 million in 2002. He couldn't say no. He gave millions away, funded random requests, and showered strangers with gifts. Within a few years, tragedies struck his family. He was hit with lawsuits and most of his fortune was gone. Compare that with Brad Duke, who won $220 million in 2005. He built a plan, created an investment group, and grew his fortune instead of shrinking it. The difference here was discipline and not luck. And that's the same pattern you see on Shark Tank. Lori Greiner, for example, turned small products into massive empires because she didn't say yes to everything. She picked Scrub Daddy, Squatty Potty, and phone soap because she saw numbers that worked. She rejected the rest. That's exactly what Cuban is telling lottery winners to do. Your money is your capital. Don't waste it on every pitch or every sad story. All of these rules sound almost too simple, but that's why they work. Lottery winners fail because they don't have structure. The sharks built their fortunes by being ruthless about structure. They cut bad ideas, protect their assets, and don't let emotions run the show. The truth is, winning the lottery doesn't solve problems, it magnifies them. If you are careless with a paycheck, you will be reckless with a jackpot. If you avoid budgets now, you will drown without one later. So the next time you dream about that winning ticket, remember this. The jackpot is the beginning of a test, and the sharks have already written the rules. You have to follow them if you win. And if you do want to win, don't stop here. Watch our next video to see the proven signs that show up right before someone hits the jackpot. Who knows? Maybe you are going to be the next multi-millionaire.